Is really meant to be nuts and bolts and logistical. We will not get into any sort of high-soaring discussions of pedagogical philosophy this morning. This is really meant to be a practical conversation about some things you might want to know and some questions you might have. Those little green sheets of paper there are for you to dash down questions if you want. I'll come around at the end of my spiel and read through those questions, which will give you the benefit of anonymity. So, not that you would need it, but if you have any questions that you don't think are going to be covered here, you feel free to cover them there. And I'm just going to plug right along on this agenda. I've got a couple of people stopping by to sort of say hello and wave their hands at you and so you can see their faces. But before we get started, I will sort of point out some of the people in this room already whom you need to know. George, don't sit down. You want to say anything, George?
I'm glad y'all are coming to these chats. I think it's a great opportunity time-wise and have Tim's attention, and anything, if y'all have questions that you want addressed in future sessions, please, let Tim know, let me know, because it's a great chance for parents just to, whatever the issues are, we want you to know as much as we can about it.
George is the big guy on campus, by the way, for those of you who don't know. He's the head of school, so you didn't know his title. And I'm the lower school. I think everybody probably has seen my face around. I'm the head of the lower school. I'm Tim Alford, just to introduce you again. And this is Becky Dalton, who's associate head, and she's hobbled right now in body, but not in spirit or in mind. So. And then back here in the back, we have a couple of people that you may or may not know. Do you want to introduce yourselves real quickly?
Sure. I'm Mary Purvis. I'm the Director of Admissions. I transitioned in this summer, so you probably worked mostly with Kathy, who will introduce herself in a second, through the admissions process. But some of you I've had the opportunity to meet, and I just want to welcome you all to St. Andrews and let you know that we're here and available for anything that you need. So, and thank you for being here this morning.
Kathy Bullock, and I'm Aunt Mary in the admissions office, and I have met most of you, so it's good to see you again. I'm glad you're here.
I'm Carla Vargas Kennedy, and I transitioned at the same time with Mary, and I'm the Director of Enrollment Management, and I'm really here to help you. That's my main job, is anything that you need, any questions you have, anytime you get stuck, you can just call me, email me, text me, send a smoke signal, and I will respond and help you through any concerns that you may have or questions, and also really help you celebrate all the wonderful things that your children will do this year.
I'm Chelsea Freeman, and I'm the lower school counselor, and I hope that during your time at St. Andrews, you and your children both use me as a resource. I'm happy to help with anything that comes up, and I love my job, and it's so wonderful to be with all your children and just help them, because being a little person is met by many challenges, and I'm happy to help them with those little girls.
Yeah, so Chelsea, I don't know what your conception of a school counselor is. My conception is based on my time at Kosciuszko Public School, and they were not necessarily the most effective participants in the school community, and I really don't know what they were doing. Chelsea is here to sort of help students with relationship issues, if they have friendship, little bumps in the road, if a pet dies and they're sad about it. Kids lead big emotional lives, and she's sort of one of our resources here, and parents really do come and see her often. So if you're wondering about phrasing things with children or about how you help a child at home work through certain things, she's a really good resource for you as well. Okay, I'm going to just run through this real quick and then we'll get to y'all's Q&A. Food. I'm guessing most of you have learned how to navigate the food situation here at St. Andrews. I think probably, I don't have numbers on this, maybe half of our students bring lunches, half of our students buy lunches. The food here, FLIC, this is our second year using FLIC, which is an acronym that I probably should know what it stands for, find something. And the food is phenomenal, you all, and it is healthy. And so I view our school's job as one of our roles is to help kids make healthy choices in all sorts of ways. And so the cafeteria options that we offer is one way that we do that. So I would encourage you If you are packing a lunch, feel free to not. I mean, it really is a healthy, really good hot lunch. There's always a sandwich option. And then the My Meal Pay Plus, there were some glitches with that at the beginning of the year, which Flip uses another service. And that service was down and having website trouble because I think they tried to rebuild their website this summer and it didn't go as quickly as planned. But it's up and running now. And so you can find that menu on the parent portal. And also, we have just linked every grade level Haiku page to that menu. And that's a live URL. So you really should be able to go to Haiku at the beginning of the week and see what the menu is going to be. You load money onto My Meal Pay Plus if you haven't already and you want your children to eat here. And I think you get a notification when you've got a low balance. Any questions about food?
When is it updated? Because like Sunday morning, my daughter was like, "What's for lunch?" I'm like, "No."
The goal is for it to be updated on Friday, and I think that you can pretty much count on that. Yeah, I think you can pretty much count on that to be done. So Friday, and really my goal, and I'm skipping ahead to Haiku, my goal is kind of to have Haiku up in the week's news for you all up by Sunday morning. That way, if you want to plan your week, Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening, look ahead at what costumes do we need to bring to school, what's our agenda for curriculum that week. You can do that as a family on Sunday evening. So the menu will be up then too.
And that's just with the parent portal.
It is.
Get to the Haiku.
Yes, you get to. I would bookmark Haiku. I mean, my goal for Haiku, and we're there better. We're there in some areas more than others. Is really for that to be the only place you need to go as a parent. And certainly, if you feel like there's something missing from your grade level Haiku pages, you can feel free to email me. That's an ongoing conversation. It's really difficult to figure out what information is the most pertinent to every family, and so y'all's input is really valued when it comes to sort of is Haiku working for you or is it not. So on to communication. If you haven't signed up for listservs for your grade levels, that's how you get all the information from the school. And if you've got more than one child here, you need to sign up for every one of them, which means you'll get duplicate emails sometimes, but it also means you'll get grade-specific emails at other times. Does anybody have any trouble finding that? Sign up? Okay. Carpool change. Has anybody done this yet? Okay, so if you want to do a carpool change, you shoot an email to carpoolchange@gosaints.org, and Tara gets that email, and Tara shoots that to the teachers. I feel like y'all are all just sitting there very receptive. I hope. Yes.
Carpool change, so like my kids go to after school and if one day we need to pick them up in carpool, I can send it to that? Is that what carpool change is? Or
Yes.
somebody else is picking them up? Is that right?
If someone else is picking them up, first of all, they need to be on. Becky, you take this. You're the carpool member.
Yes, if you have all sent in your carpool information, if there are other people who are regularly picking up your children, if you have submitted that, then we've got their names and it doesn't slow things down. But if there's any change to that routine, if you would send it to carpool change, you can also send it to your teacher or CC your teacher so that she sees that information early on also. If someone other than who's on your permission list is going to be picking up, you send that to us in writing. We'll make sure that we know that, and that won't be a problem. If you're picking up early, if you need to pick up early, send that. It's always good to let the teacher know also, if you know that that's the case. So, does that answer your question?
Birthdays. This is an oft-asked question. What is our birthday policy? It's different for early childhood than it is for first through fourth. In early childhood, you can send on your child's birthday, you can send what's the word we use? A treat, a snack, a birthday for their snack time, for the class. That policy ends in first grade, where we ask that you not send anything to school in first grade and up. They'll do the birthday blessing, and then the really fun thing that you can do with your students once they get first through fourth is come eat lunch with them on their birthday. So bring them what they want, bring them nukes or whatever they choose, and you can eat out in the courtyard if the weather's nice. You can eat in here if the weather's not nice, and a lot of kids and parents really enjoy that. So that's first through fourth. Questions on that? This is a really funny thing that I'm going to bring up just because it was an actual major change in policy. We do not allow parents to bring limousines or horse and buggies or vans or trolleys to pick up their children on the day of their birthday, which was happening. And as you can imagine, those who were not on the limousine, in the limousine, or on the trolley were just distraught and heartbroken. So if you did have illusions of bringing the birthday trolley through the carpool line, I just crushed them, and you're not allowed to do that. I'm going to let the folks back here who just walked in introduce themselves real quickly.
I'm Annie Elliott. I'm one of the 2 school chaplains. I'm the one who's usually down here at the Loder School.
And I'm Helen Green. I'm the learning facilitator for the Loder School.
What do you do, Helen?
Twiddle my thumbs. No, I work with any of the children that might need a boost. I've been a little bump in the road. I reinforce skills that the teachers are teaching in the classroom. If somebody's out with the flu or a broken arm and that sort of thing, I can step in and help them from that as well. So, and I'm here to support the teachers and work with the children.
And Helen works primarily with K through 4 stuff. Well, I've got Annie here. The next time. Oh, introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Jay Wassett. I'm the director of auxiliary programs here, and also a parent. I have a first grader that just started in Mr. Lowe's class. So, but I do all the after-school care, day camps that'll happen throughout the year, and enrichments. If you're not signed up for enrichment programs, get in touch because they start next week, and it's going to be a good program this year.
A lot of different offerings.
Yes, lots. So.
Okay, so while I have Annie here at Chapel, most of you have just come from Chapel. Parents are always invited to Chapel. We love it when you join us. Annie sent out a video and a reminder about Chapel etiquette recently. And any special chapels we should let them know about that are really fun to attend?
Pre-K3, the first Pre-K3 chapel will be October 22nd. They don't come at first. We spend a little bit of time working with them and getting them ready for Big Chapel, and so that's important if you have a Pre-K3 student. And I think that's our first. We do have St. Francis Day coming up the first week of October. We do not invite everybody's pets into the gym for Big Chapel, but we do ask that you send a photo of a pet or a special animal to your teachers, and they will make a big poster that will be blessed, and you'll hear all about it. We also offer the children at that time the opportunity to bring old towels for the animal shelter or dog food or a variety of different things. Some things that you just have around your house, like the old towels, and some things you would need to purchase depending on what y'all want to do.
Thanks, Annie.
You're welcome.
Parent-teacher conferences, I just put those dates on there for you, just for your reference. We don't, let's see, October 20th is a half day, and then the 21st is a whole day of parent conferences, so we do not have school on that day. You will sign up, thank y'all, you will sign up for conferences on Sign Up Genius, and teachers will have that information on Haiku relatively soon. Questions about that? I just did admin to know. Students first. This is a really frequently asked question that we get from parents. A lot of times parents will come frantically into Tara's office and say, they forgot their notebook, or they forgot their book bag. And our answer is, that's okay. We don't accept those things during the school day. And I put that under Students First intentionally. That's a policy that exists to help students learn to be responsible. And I know it hurts, and I know you're anxious about it, but in reality, they're gonna be okay if they don't have their social studies notebook for a day of second grade, or if they don't, you know, it's gonna be okay, mom and dad. And it's really good to sort of not teach students that we're gonna enable them. Does that make sense? It's a question that we get often, because parents come in and they're worried. It'll be okay, but that's the policy. We will accept lunches. So if you bring lunches in, we don't want your child to go hungry. We're not that big on responsibility. Field trips, we do ask that, and y'all should have heard about this at back to school night, but there are sign-ups for field trips. And you go on the ones that you sign up for, and you don't go on the ones that you don't sign up for. And that's also about student responsibility and student autonomy. I know every parent wants to go to the pumpkin patch with their little one, but it's good for students to sort of experience those things on their own terms and to have parents there on a more selective basis. Do I need to add anything about that? Okay, and then I'm done. I've put on the back contact info for people that you might need to contact. Now that I wish I had put some other people on there, Carla and Mary, but everybody's available on the website. You can find everybody on the website. And questions that you have, I'll come around and get these little green slips. Oh yes, May Day.
May Day is really the culminating celebration of our school year every year. It's a tradition at St. Andrews, and at St. Andrews, if something's done 2 years in a row, then it seems to become a tradition. But this is a long-standing tradition. It's a real rite of passage for our fourth graders particularly. They wrap the maypole. And May Day is such a big thing for us that sometimes we forget. We get into April and get into preparing for May Day, and a new parent will say, so what is May Day? And we think, oh gosh, we never took time to explain what it is. But it's a celebration on a Friday evening on the play field. Yes, it is going to be on the play field again. We have the logistics all worked out. And the children, we pick a theme every year, a different theme every year. The children learn dances to the song that's chosen for their grade level. They all dance, they all come in costume, we're all out there together, and it's just a lovely, and then parents love to stay and picnic afterwards. So it's just a wonderful, like I say, celebration of our school year. This year it's going to be on Friday, May the 6th. So, and you'll be beginning in April, you'll be getting lots more info that will be coming home about making costumes and making practices and that sort of thing. So, if ever you think, wow, am I the only one who doesn't know what's going on here, feel free to get in touch with your teacher or any of us, and we'll make sure you know what you need to know. Or if you're just curious about things we have forgotten to touch on. Okay?
Can I say one thing? And we'll probably preach to the choir because y'all are here. But you are so encouraged and enabled, and we would be grateful if we hear things that either are troubling or concern or just you just don't know the answer to ask. I mean, the email I sent out the other day, Carla, really her job, as she said, is to help people who have questions or concerns. The worst thing that can happen is that something that is based on either incomplete or incorrect information starts being talked about, and the administration doesn't know about it. So, it's very helpful for us to know what concerns there are. It might be within a grade, it might be within a division, it might be about St. Andrews, whatever. But y'all, when we get questions, is it true that, is the school going to X, just whatever, let us know. I mean, we are not looking for people to track down a rumor. We just want to know what the issues are so that we can address them and know that there's something that some people are wondering about this or hearing the wrong thing, and give the school a chance to be open and honest and let y'all know what's going on.
Yeah, one of those rumors was, I hear you're not going to have May Day this year, which is not going to happen. The other thing that Becky reminded me of was, and if you need advance notice to put it, to get off work, I would look ahead at the grade level play for your child, because those are events that parents come to and grandparents often come to as well. So if you're hankering for an opportunity to invite those grandparents for a visit, you might choose that particular day. The plays tend to be particularly precious, and you're all invited to attend. They start at pre-K4. We don't do one with pre-K3. So.
May I say, and if grandparents are in town at some point and they have not had a chance to see where their precious darlings are going to school, just call the admissions office, and they would love to set up a tour at any time when grandparents are here. hear, because I'm a grandparent, and it's very precious to be able to see where your little ones spend their day.
Becky, am I correct in saying that when they have the plays and sings, that grandparents are then invited back to the classroom?
That's right,
So that
yes.
so if your folks are in town to see, Johnny perform, they'll also get a chance to go to Johnny's classroom to meet the teacher and that sort of thing.
Right.
It's
The way it
it's a good
works,
day.
yeah, the way it works after a play, generally we will invite the parents to meet us in the auditorium for sort of a catch-up talk, and we just gear that around what's pertinent for that grade level on that day. And that's to free up the classroom so the grandparents can go, or a special friend if grandparents are not able to come, to go to the classroom, and that's just their special kind of together time. So that's a time when you are not invited to go to the classroom with your child, because we free that time and space up. So.
I have a question here about allergies and the way that works with birthdays. When there's a birthday party or any kind of party in a particular grade, the nurse works very closely with parents to help ensure that kids are not left out. So essentially your first point of contact is the nurse, and she proactively, she knows. So essentially teachers know to let her know when there's going to be a party or an event or something, and then she reaches out to parents proactively and says, hey, heads up, you might want to send a treat with so-and-so, or we also let parents come in and attend those parties if their children have allergies, so that their kids are not left without anything. Anna, there she is. Anna Watlington, everybody, is the nurse. I was just talking about allergies and parties. Do you want to say a little bit about that?
So if someone has food allergies at school, I try to work with the parent and get a good plan in place, and so we're all aware that we have this allergy. And at parties, I get you to send something that we know is safe for them, because a lot of foods come in from outside, and a lot of times we can't check the ingredients on them, so I don't know what's in them, and we can't safely give that to a child with a food allergy. So that's kind of how I manage things, and I really try to work with the parent if there's any issues with it. I manage it like that, so I'm here for anything.
It's really common. I think Anna and I were talking about allergies. It's one in 5 students, I think, has an allergy of some sort.
We have a lot of students with food allergies, yeah.
I have a question about whether or not speech therapists can come here at school. That's a question I want to take offline. The short answer is yes. But the longer answer is we'll have to work out logistics for how that works. And that's true of sort of any kind of additional help that you think your child needs. I mean, that just needs to be a conversation with Helen and with I about how to make that work. But philosophically, we're amenable to it. Other questions that aren't on the green card? Y'all are a pretty easy group, you sure? We're so excited that y'all joined us at St. Andrews, and please know that you're welcome here. Come to chapels, get involved, and George, one last thing.
Yeah, I think as everybody's aware, we started construction on the new Early Childhood Center. And I've heard this week that some children are a little upset about, what about the birds and the trees, the backward saints, this kind of thing. And so the teachers are working with the kids, but also, I mean, I think it's Chelsea, you might have something to say. It's a matter of change, and we, and sometimes, we do have to, you have to tear something down in order to build something up. So if your child is really upset and nightmares, crying about it, upset, Chelsea or the teachers, I've heard some stories, and I just want y'all to know that we want to make sure that they see this as a positive experience. And they will once they see the building start going up. This period of transition right now may be hard.
Yeah, George is referencing, I heard a third grader the other day. He saw that they were cutting off access to the swing set that third grade uses. And he, I think very cleverly, muttered to himself, forward saints, more like backwards saints, taking away my swing. And we've had kindergartners lamenting that we're tearing down God's creation trees. So, and I'm going from class to class today, probably K through 3, K through 4, to talk a little bit about change and how probably in this building there were trees. It's, you know, where this building stands, there were trees. Any other questions?
And Tim Getty, who is the architect for this project, and his firm assured us after they labeled every single tree that's coming down, that 99% of the trees are pines. There are no old growth hardwoods that are just a very, very few that are coming down. But most of that is scrub and pine trees, and we will reforest the area once we are done.
Thank y'all for coming in. Have a good day.